So a question that a lot of people are wondering after the Monaco Grand Prix is what to do with it. What to do with this two-stop rule, which did not work as intended at all. I would say that the race was marginally more entertaining than what we've been used to in recent times, but overall it didn't work as intended. You had drivers completely slowing down and holding the pack up just so their teammate in front of them could do several pit stops, those 2 mandated pit stops. A lot of people are saying that Monaco should just get off the calendar. I respectfully disagree with that. I think you have to have Monaco on the Formula 1 calendar. It is a part of Formula 1. It's like having Formula 1 without Ferrari. It just doesn't feel right. It just has to be there. But that doesn't mean we can't try and improve it. That something can't change to actually try and make the racing action better, more racing action. But the root cause of a lot of these problems is, of course, that the cars are so big and heavy these days. You know, that's the inherent problem. And you can put whatever rules you want in front of Formula 1 drivers and Formula 1 teams. Of course, the root of all the problems is the fact that the cars are just so damn big. But what has been suggested? What have the drivers and people around Formula 1 been saying about this? I got the full story here on the F1Chronicle.com. As always. Formula 1 figures are once again scratching their heads about what to do about the dubious spectacle of the Monaco Grand Prix. After the particularly processional and slow 2024 edition, this year's Grand Prix on the tight, twisty streets of the Principality was a mandatory 2-stopper. It was worse, Mercedes boss Toto Wolff admitted. I mean, his team had an absolute nightmare, so I suppose he would say that, really. World champion Max Verstappen laughed to Viaplay. Very exciting. I really enjoyed it. Really great. Maybe we should make it 3 pit stops next year, or 4 or 5. At least the team would then get some pit stop practice. I mean, I could have done a 4 pit stop and still finished 4th, said the Red Bull driver. For us, it didn't matter at the front of the field. Indeed, while the top runners had an actual race, the rest of the field was either deliberately slowing big trains of trailing cars or stuck in those trains. George Russell even skipped over the harbour chicane to get past Alex Albon's mobile chicane, copping a 30-second penalty. He was given a drive-through penalty for that. I thought it was hilarious how Russell was like, yeah, you know what? I cut across the chicane. I admit it. What are you going to do about it? Give him a drive-through. Give him a massive penalty for that. So unfortunately, yeah, it didn't really work out for him. I was outside the points anyway, and I just wanted to enjoy pushing hard in Monaco, he said. The irony is that I did 25 qualifying laps in the race and finished higher than if I hadn't taken the penalty. So the system is flawed, said Russell. I agree with that. The penalty thing is ridiculous because you've got drivers who will actively take a 5 or a 10-second penalty to get ahead and get track position because they can go faster. They can, they can eliminate those penalties effectively by 5-10 laps of clean running. Nico Hülkenberg agreed with Russell. I appreciate that something was tried this year with the 2-stopper, but it clearly didn't work. Not at all. There were a lot of strategic things going on, but it didn't have much to do with racing. Carlos Sainz told DAZN, I'm very upset with the race and the sport in general. 15 years ago there were penalties for manipulating the races, but now the whole race is being manipulated, he said. I hated going slowly, but Liam Lawson put us last and second to last, and it had to be done. So with many feeling that the mandatory 2-stop approach failed, what is next? Maybe we can throw out bananas like in Mario Kart, Verstappen joked. You can't race here anyway, so it doesn't matter what you do. 1 stop, 10 stops. I think with the cars we have now, you can only overtake a Formula 2 car around here. Pole sitter and race winner Lando Norris is among those who thinks that Formula 1 should simply stop trying to make the on-track action more exciting on Monaco Sundays. I think it should be the person who drives the best race and deserves to win, he said. I don't even know why people have such high expectations. I mean, it's not just a show to entertain people, it's sports. Correct. Verstappen was actually the race leader until very late on, delaying his second pit stop in the hope of a red flag and a free pit stop. I'm sure if we keep this going in the future, eventually a result like that will happen, said Oscar Piastri. But is that what we want to see? Not really, no. Red Bull team boss Christian Horner thinks the only solution would be to actually go and change the Monaco layout. We should try to create a braking zone at the end of the tunnel or in the first corner, he said. The cars are so big these days that there's no chance of getting past an opponent, Horner added. Wolff suggested perhaps we need to introduce something like a maximum lap time so that certain opponents don't get tactically lucky. Albon, one of the deliberate laggards on Sunday, apologised to spectators afterwards and agreed with Horner that F1 and Monaco should think about tweaking the layout. McLaren boss Andrea Stella commented, what we need are smaller and lighter cars. Racing Bulls CEO Peter Byatt was among the tricky tactical masterminds on Sunday, but he insists the F1 Commission thought long and hard about the new two-stop rule. I can't really think of anything he told Sky Deutschland when asked what F1's move should be. If the track doesn't allow for any changes, the only approach is to intervene here was through the regulations. There are other ideas like only using soft tyres or the C6, but at the end of the day, the reality is that you can't overtake it. No matter how fast you are, you can't get past these big cars. The Monaco weekend is obviously incredibly important for the teams and for Formula 1. The fans, our partners, love it, and we have to try and improve the sporting aspect. Wolff, meanwhile, concluded by suggesting Monaco should simply remain unique and that the most overtaken obsessed critics should take their racing glasses off once per season. Hulkenberg concluded 99% of the people in Monaco are here to drink champagne on a yacht. They don't really care. Nico, are you suggesting that people are just hanger-oners and they want to just be a part of the Monaco weekend rather than actually care about the racing? No, that doesn't happen, especially at Monaco. That is a very derogatory thing you said, Mr. Hulk. I don't like that. But no, he's absolutely spot on. I mean, you get it at every racing venue. You know, you get it at every race where you've got the VIPs, you know, drinking champagne, schmoozing around, you know, networking, that horrible word. But it's true, that's what they do, and you're going to get them. But I imagine at Monaco, to be fair, it's on steroids. There'll be a lot more of them. But, you know, I think the problem is, there's two problems, really, and you can solve it. You can solve the overtaking problem by addressing either of them. Either changing a layout, I don't know, maybe get rid of the Neuville chicane. But how dangerous would that be, though? How dangerous would getting rid of that be? That would be horrific, to be honest with you. There'd be some huge... I mean, we saw Pierre Gasly. Admittedly, it was because he was braking, but you could still get some really nasty accidents coming out of the tunnel, I think, if you get rid of the chicane there. There's not really a lot you can do with a layout. You can change that, potentially, but... that's tough. And then there's the cars. The car's the ultimate problem. But overtaking around Monaco was so difficult. I mean, when was the last time that Formula 1 cars were small enough and didn't have enough aerodynamic performance to make overtaking at Monaco feasible? Maybe the 80s, maybe the early 90s or so. But, you know, look at Mansell trying to overtake Ayrton Senna in 1992. Around any other circuit he would have got past. So I think really you're talking about the mid-80s by the last time that Formula 1 cars were small enough to be able to make that a reality. But guys, I value your input on this as always. I want to hear what you have to say about this in the comments below. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always if you want to see more like this. And yeah, I think the ultimate problem is just that the cars are too big. And I don't think they're going to be able to change the layout. But Formula 1 needs Monaco. It just does. It's part of the calendar. Whether the race in action is bad or not, that's another discussion. But I think overall, it's here to stay, and it should stay, but that's my opinion. I know not everybody shares it with me. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always, guys. Have a fantastic day wherever you're in the world today, and we'll see you very soon. Have a good one.